Hi, my name is Christina Martinez, and I am a U.S. Navy veteran with 22 years of service. I continue to serve as the Enterprise Cybersecurity Risk Manager out of Johnson Space Center. At NASA, we pay tribute to all the men and women veterans that continue to lead the way in the future of space exploration. This November, we shine the spotlight on just a few veterans in honor of Veterans Day. Our journey back to the moon and on to Mars starts at home, and NASA's veterans are a big part of accomplishing that mission. Veterans currently make up 12% of NASA's workforce. Many of the most iconic figures at the agency, our astronauts, have a strong veteran tie. In fact, all NASA astronauts were military pilots until 1965. Of the 385 total NASA astronauts, 223 were veterans. Veterans continue to have a sweeping impact on NASA in every corner of our workforce. NASA's own Deputy Administrator, Pam Melroy, is a retired U.S. Air Force colonel and astronaut, a veteran of Operation Desert Shield, Desert Storm, with 200 combat and combat support missions. She has also logged 38 days in space across 3 missions to help build the International Space Station. NASA astronaut Dr. Johnny Kim is a former U.S. Navy SEAL. Lieutenant Commander Kim completed more than 100 combat operations and is the recipient of the Silver Star and Bronze Star with Combat Valor. He was recently selected to join the Artemis team, a special group of astronauts leading the charge back to the moon and beyond. Current chair of the NASA Advisory Council, retired General Lester Lyles, entered the U.S. Air Force in 1968 and served in many different assignments, from Avionics Division Chief in the F-16 Systems Program Office to eventually becoming Commander of the Air Force Materiel Command. Lieutenant General Larry James entered the Air Force as a distinguished graduate of the United States Air Force Academy in 1978. He commanded at the squadron, group, and wing levels, was Vice Commander of the Space and Missile Systems Center, and served as the Senior Space Officer for Operation Iraqi Freedom. He retired from the Air Force in 2013 to assume the role of Deputy Director of NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory and served as Interim Director of JPL. Associate Administrator Bob Cabana is a former Naval Flight Officer and Naval Aviator in the U.S. Marine Corps. During his career, Cabana logged over 7,000 hours in 50 different kinds of aircraft. Cabana was selected as an astronaut candidate in 1985. A veteran of 4 space flights, Cabana has logged 38 days in space, serving either as the pilot or mission commander. His 4th flight was the first assembly mission of the International Space Station in 1998. And finally, our very own Administrator Bill Nelson began his career as a captain in the U.S. Army. After the Army, Administrator Nelson continued to serve in public office over 4 decades. In 1986, he flew on the 24th flight of the Space Shuttle. The mission on Columbia orbited the Earth 98 times over 6 days. Senator Bill Nelson was sworn in as the 14th NASA Administrator in 2021, tasked with carrying out the Biden-Harris administration's vision to prepare the next generation to return to the moon and on to Mars. From politics to space, veterans continue to serve, and that is worth celebrating.